Hey guys, welcome back to the Financial Freedom Channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today I want to talk about a subject that's quite fascinating to me: how young Warren Buffett built seed capital. So in 1941, at the age of 11, Warren Buffett checked out a book from the Omaha Public Library called "A Thousand Ways to Make $1,000." Now, young Warren knew that in order to achieve his goal of having $1 million by the age of 35, he needed seed capital. He needed some starting money to put on his compound growth engine. So Warren had a friend named Don Danley. And one day he noticed Don tinkering with an old pinball machine that wasn't working. In a few hours, Don had the pinball machine up and running, and Warren had a light bulb moment. So Warren created a company called the Wilson Coin Operated Company. He and Don would go to barber shops in Omaha and approach the barbershop owner with a proposal. They would say, "Hey, we represent Mr. Wilson, and Mr. Wilson has a proposal for you. He would like to give you a free pinball machine to put in the corner of your barber shop. Now, every week, we'll come and collect the change from that pinball machine, and we'll give you half of it. It's a good deal for you, and it's a good deal for Mr. Wilson. Do we have a deal?" And so the barbershop owner inevitably would say, "Sure, put the pinball machine in the corner." Now, the first week that Warren went and collected money from one of these pinball machines, there was $5 in change in the pinball machine. He thought he had died and gone to heaven. Now let's talk about the math behind this. So Warren and Don were able to get a pinball machine for $25 that wasn't working. Don would fix it up. They would put it in the barber shop, and they'd be collecting $2.50 per week between them. So Warren would get $1.25 and Don would get $1.25. So you've got your upfront cost of $25 for the pinball machine, and Warren is bringing in $1.25 a week. So that's $65 a year. $1.25 a week, 52 weeks, $65 a year. Of course, they didn't stop there. At one point, they had 30 pinball machines in 30 different barber shops where Warren was going and collecting this $1.25 a week. So 30 pinball machines, $25 each, you're looking at a $750 upfront cost. And Warren's share of the profit there was, so $1.25 a week times 52 weeks times 30 machines. So he was bringing in $19.50 per year. Now, on a $750 upfront investment, he's getting his money back in 4.5 months. That's 160% ROI, 160. $19.50 a year he's making on a one-time investment of $750. That is a phenomenal return, guys. So that's one of the companies young Warren started. I want to talk about one more. So, Warren liked to read the paper. One day he saw a Rolls Royce in the paper selling for $200, a broken down Rolls Royce. So he goes to Don. He says, "Hey, Don, can you get this Rolls Royce up and running?" Don's like, "Sure, of course." So, Don put about $200 of parts into this Rolls Royce and got it up and running. So $200 for the car, $200 in parts, they're in for $400. And what did they do? They decided to rent out the Rolls Royce for $100 a weekend for weddings. So $400 in, they're making $100 a weekend. So 52 weeks in a year, that's $5,200 a year. They split it 50-50. Warren's making $2,600 per year on a $400 investment. So that means he gets his money back in less than 2 months. Less than 2 months, he's got $400 in profit, and everything else is gravy. That's a 550% 30% ROI for that deal, just for Warren. So that's crazy. And of course, during the week, they're driving the Rolls Royce to their high school. Warren's got his fur coat. Him and Don are rolling up to the high school in the Rolls. It's just a pretty wild sight, I'm sure. So just for comparison, you've got 160% ROI on the pinball machines. You've got a 550% ROI on the Rolls Royce rentals. So some of the best single-family rental properties that I'm looking at take about 5 years to recoup my initial investment. So I'm putting, say, $20,000 down, and I'm making back $4,000 a year. So it's taking 5 years to pay back my initial investment, as opposed to Warren, who figured out how to get his money back in less than 2 months on the rolls and 4.5 months on the pinball machines. It's just a really cool story of, young capitalist Warren figuring out how to generate this seed capital that he can put on his compound growth engine. And, so he started this at 11. His goal was to have $1 million at 35. He ended up having somewhere between 5 and 7 million by the age of 35. So pretty inspiring story. I'm sure some of these things, young enterprising entrepreneurs can still do today. There's plenty of barbershops without pinball machines, space in the corner. I mean, these opportunities are alive and well today. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss any future videos, and I will see you soon.